everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you a fun little project I did using some pages from my latest vintage ephemera kit from A House of Books. The kit is so great because it's got so many pieces in it, lots of book pages and ephemera and all kinds of things, so you can get a lot of projects out of it. Since I've had the kit, I've made some cluster embellishments on some library pockets. I've worked on an art journal, and I am now made a little mini journal that I thought it would be fun to show you. And this I made in probably less than an hour. It was very easy to do. And I had the idea because I had these little seal and send letters. I don't know if you've ever seen these. I love any kind of vintage stationery. And I think these are from I know I had some in the early 80s, so it's either from the 70s or 80s, but they were these little letters that were like postcards, and it was just one sheet of paper, but it was scored in two places, so you could kind of fold it up like an envelope after you wrote inside of it, and then just mail it right off in the mail, just using one of those little gold seals. And the picture on the front of this one was just so cute with the little deer and everything. And I was always thinking I wanted to try to make a little mini journal with this. And I thought the book pages from the ephemera kit would be good because they're thinner. And I think you want to use kind of some thinner type book pages and papers in something like this. So the first thing I did was to reinforce what would be the cover. So the cover would be the main seal and send letter. And let me open this up and show you what I did. I just wanted the cover to be a little bit more stiff. So what I did was take a sheet of, there was some floral, a page from a floral book that was kind of like a diary talking about being outside and the things that this person did. And I thought that would be really nice to have on the inside cover of the little journal. So all I did was adhere this little note to the back of what I wanted to show in the front. And I used some of the score tape. I really like score tape for making journals because it's very sticky. It's double-sided tape, and it's very thin too, so it keeps everything nice and flat. And I have all different sizes of this. I like this size. This is a good thick size. They actually have an even bigger one too that can be very helpful too. And all I did was kind of cover the back of the note card with the adhesive and then just laid it down. And then I just trimmed off the edges using my guillotine trimmer. And I've talked about the guillotine trimmer before. This has been just so helpful in making journals. I didn't used to have one. And then I recently purchased one. Actually, I purchased two and kind of did a comparison. I have a video a couple months back where I did one, and this has just changed my journal making. It's made it go a little bit faster using that trimmer, and it's very precise, and you can cut a lot of pages at once, and it just kind of, I think it helped me get this project done very quickly. So anyway, so I trimmed off all the pages, so I had this nice kind of thicker cover here, and then I just kind of folded everything on the score lines, and then I was ready to add my pages. So in order to get a kind of a size pattern for my pages, I just used an old card base, like just a plain folded greeting card base that I used to make my greeting cards. And I trimmed it down to the size that I would want the signature to be in this little journal. And then I just cut all my pages using that as a template. And then I just trimmed them with my guillotine trimmer, and everything came together really quickly. So I used a kind of mixture of new and old papers. This is a scrapbook paper that I actually just got a new paper pad from Hobby Lobby. I really liked this kind of vintage floral look, and I liked that this was very thin scrapbook paper. Normally I don't like the really thin stuff that they have in the paper pads, but this is perfect for journaling. Plus it's got a white back on it, so you can do some art journaling or writing or whatever you want to do. But I thought this in the front kind of went along with the kind of the theme of the cover. I'm sort of I made this journal kind of be a wildlife theme, or kind of a woodsy nature theme. So I have this paper here, and then I added this is a piece of map page from the ephemera kit. And then I had some blue paper in my stash that I just added. I thought that coordinated really well. And again, just really thin papers, which is nice. This is another floral page from the Ephemera kit. I thought that fit in really nicely. Dictionary page. This is some this is some typing paper, some onion skin typing paper. That gives a nice texture. And then some ledger paper, which, by the way, next month's House of Books, their August vintage ephemera subscription, is going to have some ledger paper in it too. So that's a great time to sign up if you don't have any of those kinds of papers, because there's going to be a whole mix of that along with some other really nice things. There's been, if you go on their Instagram, a House of Books is showing all kinds of kind of sneak peeks of some lacy trim and some things that are going to be going in there. So I'll have a link below where you can sign up for a subscription. The subscriptions end if you want to order the August subscription, you have until July 31st. So that would be, today is Saturday night, so you have until Sunday. But otherwise you can still sign up for a subscription, but you will just get the next month's subscription. But they also have, House of Books has great a la carte vintage ephemera pieces, and they also sell separate book pages too. So if you are in need of just a big stack of book pages to use, you can buy those over there too. So I got the ledger paper, and then this was some really nice kind of wildlife pages that were in there with some ducks and some birds. And then I had another little piece of scrapbook paper. I just did one big signature in this. I suppose you could do more than one. I didn't want to make this too thick though, so I just kind of tried it with one signature. And then this is just some note paper I had that kind of has a retro look to it. This is a piece of stationery that I cut in half. This was included in the ephemera kit this month. And then that's another almanac page, I think. And then this was my favorite picture. This was a photograph that was in the ephemera kit of this house. And I just think this house is so cozy looking, kind of in the woods, and it kind of goes along again with the theme. So I wanted that to be kind of the spotlight picture in the middle of the journal. And then this is just the other parts of the journal on the other side. And at the end, I had this little brown envelope that fit perfectly in the journal. And so I just adhered it to the last page. And then it's a little spot where you can tuck in some ephemera or memorabilia or a little note or something. So I thought that was kind of fun to have there. And then to kind of seal everything up, I didn't want to put like a Velcro flap or anything on it because I didn't want to cover up this August. So I thought the best thing to do was just to kind of have something to wrap around it. And so I made up this little cord wrap. I used, this is just some cord I got from the craft store. And then I had this button that had kind of a bigger little hole through the back. And I threaded the two pieces through the back and then tied a knot. And then I ended up with this loop. And then this way you can kind of safely close up the journal, but you're not going to ruin any of the front or anything with adhesive or anything like that, or holes. So I thought that looked kind of good. This button, I just had it, I have a whole jar of buttons, and this one was just kind of randomly in there, and so it matched perfectly with this. So, but another thing I was thinking you could do with this little journal, you could either keep it as a little, pocket journal for your purse if you're going out, on a nature walk or something, and you want to maybe write down some thoughts. I was thinking too, you could sew this into another journal, so it could be a journal within a journal. So it could just be, you have a big thick journal with just another little booklet kind of hiding inside. So there's lots of fun things you can do with this. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you, in case anybody was wondering, I just did a basic stitch for when you sew signatures into your journal. So I just used some wax cord, and then I just sewed through the middle, and then I think it's called a pamphlet stitch. That's what I used. So just a basic pamphlet stitch. So it's one stitch, 3 holes, and then just stitch 2 big stitches in the back there. And then I tied a knot in the middle. So it's pretty secure, kind of holds everything in there. So if you have any questions, let me know. Just leave me a comment below. And let me know if you have any other ideas for making these little journals, because they're a lot of fun to make. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter. I will see you in my next video. Thanks.